What we're looking at is a system that has identified young men of color as less than human, less less deserving of the resources that this country has normally made available to people. And one of them is access to education. If you identify a 6-year-old black child as someone who's not worthy of devoting $2-3 million of educational resources to, then you're not concerned about whether or not he makes it through the system. What you are concerned is just what value does he have. And unfortunately, young men of color are may be the most valuable resource in this country, not for their intellect or their abilities, but for their prison value. What we have is a system that has figured out that the most valuable way to handle young men of color is to put them through a system that employs a whole bunch of people and makes a whole bunch of corporations very rich. And we have to find a way to change that dialogue. We've got to change the narrative so that no longer can we identify young men of color as simply chattel, a way to, feed other people's coffers. I'm raising 3 young men of color, and one of them has had some serious challenges in high school, and he's been through a suspension once or twice. And when I talked to him about it, what frightened me more than the suspension is his sense that it's no big deal. It is almost standard operating procedure in his school that people that look like him are subjected to a level of what we call zero tolerance and pushouts that are destined to create more Mike Browns. The school to prison pipeline could often be called the school to death pipeline, because once you put these young men out of schools and you subject them to the policing that goes on in these communities, then we have what we have in Ferguson. We have young black men who are trained to be afraid, and that fear manifests itself in a number of ways, and the response is often, let's shoot them, because they're not human. They're just not valued the same way as other communities young people are.